Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. I am Sam from the Midweek Fixture, and today we're going to be looking at the top 5 lower division stadiums for soccer in the United States. Colorado Springs comes in at number 5 with the beautiful new WEIDNER field, which just opened actually this year in April of 2021. The stadium holds about 8,000 for matches and up to 15,000 for concerts, and it's only a few blocks away from the main downtown of the fast-growing city that is Colorado Springs. The facilities are excellent. The stadium just pops with a bit of character with some nice silver on the outside. There's a sculpture, I guess you could say, in one of the corners, and then of course you have the nice mountain background with Pikes Peak and the Rocky Mountain. WEIDNER Field is also the highest elevation stadium of any team in the US soccer pyramid at over 6,000 feet above sea level, or the equivalent to around 1,850 meters above sea level. I'm moving to the area next year and I cannot wait to catch a game at WEIDNER. Alright, next up, jumping down to USL League 1. At number 4, we have BREESE Stevens Field for Forward Madison. So BREESE Stevens is a renovated baseball stadium and an absolute beauty of a stadium in our lower leagues. And it opened originally in 1926. The stadium has been through a multitude of renovations to get to where it is today, hosting Forward Madison, including the last renovation finishing up in 2018 so that the team could start playing in 2019. There's a lot of character at BREESE Stevens, and the Flock, which is a supporters group of Forward Madison, really helped bring that stadium to life. But the character of the stadium, they still have the baseball stand that looks like it would be behind home plate, which is a nice design there, and I believe it's a brick facade, and that also wraps around to the full length of one of the touch lines on the side, offering a pretty good capacity stadium. I believe 5,000 people for USL League 1 games. And next at number 3, we have HIGHMARK Stadium in Pittsburgh that hosts the Pittsburgh RIVERHOUNDS. So the HIGHMARK Stadium in Pittsburgh is just absolutely one of the most beautiful venues in the US, not just for soccer but for all of sport. It's located right across one of the rivers in Pittsburgh from downtown, and it's not just across the river, it's also nestled into the side of a hill, and the views from the stadium just of downtown Pittsburgh, and then if you're on one of the goal ends, the views of downtown Pittsburgh and of the mountain behind the stadium are just absolutely unmatched. It's one of the stadiums on my list that I have to visit in the US at some point because just the views are spectacular. The stadium does have a capacity of 5,000. It was renovated a few years ago to up it to 5,000 from the original 4,000 when it opened in 2013. At number 2, we have the LYNN Family Stadium in Louisville that hosts Louisville City FC. So with a capacity of over 15,000 and just finishing construction in 2020, the LYNN Family Stadium is by far the biggest stadium specifically designed for lower division soccer in the US. And being it was supposed to finish construction and open in 2020, it was actually supposed to have its first match on April 11th, 2020, but due to COVID, the stadium had to wait a few months for fans to begin attending, with the new original first match with fans being July 12th with a limited capacity crowd. I'm an Indy 11 supporter, so we have a big rivalry with Louisville City, but I honestly have to say that this stadium is absolutely beautiful. It's modern, and it really raises the bar for premier clubs in the USL and what they're trying to build whenever it comes to new stadiums. And LYNN Family Stadium is just an absolute state-of-the-art stadium, and it definitely fits for the powerhouse USL club that Louisville City is. And I feel like basically any MLS team would be extremely happy to have this stadium, let alone a USL club. Alright, before we get to number 1, I have a couple honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention is KEYWORTH Stadium for Detroit City. The stadium is definitely old, coming in at I think about 85 years old now, but it has a ton of character, and the supporters group for Detroit City, the Northern Guard, have really made it an absolute fortress and made it their own to support their team. A fun fact about Keyworth is that former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt actually opened or commissioned the stadium in 1936 while on the campaign trail for his first re-election. And then the second honorable mention that I have is WakeMed Soccer Park, hosting North Carolina FC in the USL League One. North Carolina FC is formerly the Carolina Railhawks of NASL, and they play at WakeMed, which is just a gem of a stadium in US soccer. It's about 20 years old, and a lot of people may not really agree with me on this, but I just absolutely love this stadium and love the look of it. I love the addition of that second tier of stand above the main stand on one of the sides. I don't know why. It looks a bit awkward, but I love that because a lot of times in the US, teams try and make their stadiums to be very uniform, not so unique or out there, or maybe not awkward. And then coming in at number 1, we have LYNN Stadium that hosts the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And this stadium, I think, is widely regarded by most in the US soccer community as being probably the best lower division stadium in the US, or at least in the top 3. It has a capacity of 7,227 and was first built in 1947 for baseball, but LYNN has since been renovated many times, and in 2011 it was renovated to convert to be one of the most unique soccer stadiums in the US. The unique design of the stadium really starts with that big steep grandstand that curves around the corner, goes all the way to the midfield line, and also behind the home side goal where the supporter section is. And then there's also some additional sideline seating on the far side that allows for a nice open view of the bay and the boat docks behind it of the Tampa Bay. It's unique. It really has a nice look to it. It's clean. And I think this is what a lot of lower division clubs that play in like minor league baseball stadiums, this is what they should try and achieve with their stadium. I know that it's been renovated and a lot of USL clubs play in currently occupied minor league baseball stadiums, but I think that in the future USL will start to take over those stadiums as main tenants, and they should all look to LYNN as a guide for how you should properly convert a baseball stadium to really fit that uniqueness, just culture that is these lower division stadiums. Alright, if you like this video, go ahead, leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to come out with some more content related to stadiums in the United States, teams in the United States, all that fun stuff. So if you really enjoyed it and found it informative, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.